Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week where two old guys, I had to think of it, two old guys? Okay, yeah. Talk about moderately older games.
Yeah, we've been getting newer and newer recently.
I guess the eventualist people's not asking about newer, older games. People's want newer games.
It's true. These things that you say are true.
So really, one of the first lords of the TADPOG Nation, Lord Matt Barger, sent us a fat package.
I'm sure everyone remembers
2 years ago.
Matt's fat package.
So I guess what we've unintentionally done is we do one of Matt's games every year.
The time has come.
So now that our second year, so
it's been so long ago that I don't remember what else he sent.
He sent us, the first one was the Lollipop Chainsaw.
Oh, right, which we talked about.
And then today's game, spoilers for what I'm going to talk about 30 seconds from now, Catherine. And then he's also sent us 3D Dot Heroes.
Right, okay. We should have got someone named Catherine to come record with us today.
We should have gotten two different Catherines to come and record with us today. I think I know one Catherine. One Catherine.
I'm not sure that I know a Catherine. It's a rare name. It's dying out.
Well, today we're going to be talking about Catherine.
Which one?
With a C.
Okay.
Mostly.
Okay.
Okay. I'm your bearded host, Tyler. And I don't have it's not like a funny story. I don't have like a humorous anecdote story about some kind of shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have a game appropriate story.
Okay.
Because the game Catherine is essentially about a man having to choose between two women that are very different and will take his life in two different paths. Mm-hmm. So I myself I had a Catherine situation in high school. So this is
two girls that you had to choose between?
Two girls I had to choose between.
You're a pretty lucky guy. I feel like not a whole lot of guys are in
Well,
that
I got the bad ending, so I'm not If my game was high school, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
I got the bad ending. Didn't make the good choices.
So how do you mean?
So like I said, not a funny story, but I'm revealing a chapter of my life to the TADPOG Nation.
Okay.
All right, first Catherine, that was one of my, because I've mentioned this story briefly, or mentioned her because she was like my best friend, and there was always like this kind of romantic thing under the surface, but neither one of us were afraid to go there, so we were just best friends. But anytime we would date somebody else, we'd both get extremely jealous. We thought we knew something would happen with us eventually, but we were just, neither one of us would pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. So we just stayed best friends. And it stayed like that up until probably the sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
And she got a serious boyfriend, and I got a serious girlfriend. And I also got a serious boyfriend. Because that's when my sophomore year, I started dating my Catherine with a K.
Okay.
And I was with Catherine with a K for up until my senior year. And senior year of high school, the first time we had a horrible...
Sure it wasn't Midnight Venus instead of Catherine with a K?
Midnight Venus.
Mm-hmm. Ishtar?
No, give me a second. But we had... The first was a horrendous, I guess maybe OC style, just nasty breakup, where she just decides... no, this other guy that's my best friend, I'm just gonna do stuff with him for a while. So, see ya.
Was she upfront about it like that? Or?
No.
Okay.
No. Because
I kind of figured that might not be the case.
Because I talked before about how I only had a limited number of phone call hours in my life, and she depleted pretty much all of them.
Right. Your quota's met.
one of the primary reasons, like for the first breakup, was we don't talk on the phone enough. And it's like, fuck, we're talking on the phone like 4 or 5 hours a day. And that's not like, that's after school. But that's neither here nor there. But like it was just a nasty breakup.
Yeah.
She goes on, she dates her best friend for a while. I go on, I date a few other people, and we still see each other, and it's like there's still something there. Like, so if she sees me in the hall, she'll talk to me, and she can't help but like touch me and things like that. Like, there's still something there. But during this time, I got my tonsils removed, because I've always had like strep throat that's my weakness. So I've always had just strep throat all the time, like my whole life, till I had my tonsils out. And they said my tonsils, when they removed them, it was like pulling taffy out of my mouth. Like they were bad.
I don't know what tonsils are supposed to be like, but I imagine not taffy.
Yeah, they're not like pulling saltwater taffy. But I remember during that, and the breakup was, that's what started. I was a very chubby kid until my senior year of high school, and my breakup was what triggered my weight loss. I think during the time that we'd broken up, I lost like 30 pounds, and then continued that weight loss until it was like 70 pounds, I think, by the time I graduated. But during that time, I remember I was sick. I was at home. My parents had to go to work, so I was just there by myself. And that's when the first time I'd heard from her in like a year, Catherine with a C just calls me out of the blue. And her boyfriend had like broken up, and she'd said how she missed me and she wanted to talk to me. And then she could tell, like, because I was talking like, I don't know, the best way to describe it is to be very politically incorrect and say, like a deaf person who's never heard themselves speak, really. So I talked like that, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I've had my tonsils out." She's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm just sitting here." She's like, she was upset by that, so she went out and bought me all sorts of soup and ice cream and rented movies and
All kinds of tonsil related products.
all things related to tonsils. And she came over, and we ate and watched movies, and she took care of me like the whole time, like I was sick. And I remember. But after she go home, like I was starting getting phone calls from like Catherine with a K.
I
And
can't remember which is which now, but that's okay. Catherine with a K broke up with you?
Yes.
Okay, that one.
And she wanted to get the process going of like getting back together.
Okay.
I remember, so basically, long story short, we ended up getting back together. And it was at that time, like 2 days after we'd gotten back together, the other Catherine, like, she comes over. Because this time I lived in a house with like an awesome basement. That was just basically like another house down below that was just mine. So she comes down there and she's talking to me, and she basically wants to get together. She finally wants to get through this whole like friend zone thing that we've had going for years, and she wants to make this work. And like I wanted it, but then I'd just gotten back together with the other Catherine.
Right.
And I remember like sitting at the foot of my stairs, and she was looking up at me, had basically made this declaration and wanted me to kiss her. And that was my moment where things could have went. I could have gotten the good ending or the bad ending. And
You didn't kiss her, did you?
I did not kiss her.
Yeah.
I didn't kiss her. I could tell she was visibly like saddened by that.
Yeah.
And she left.
But I'm sure you felt like you were doing the right thing.
At the time,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Because like I just got back together with the other Catherine.
Right.
I want to kiss her, but then I'd be cheating on her. Like,
Yep.
I didn't want to do it. Well, then she ended up getting back together with her boyfriend, and Catherine with the other Catherine. We stayed together for like 2 or 3 more months, and then had what I thought the first breakup was a bad breakup.
Yeah.
No. The second breakup was the bad breakup.
She was like, you know what? I think I want a man in my life who has tonsils. I want my man to have all of his organs. Thank you.
Because man, the second breakup. Because I remember it was something out of a movie. Because like it's pouring outside, and we're standing outside of her house.
It's Jurassic Park.
We're both in the Jeep, and the T-Rex is just walking around the car, and she's like, "We need to break up." I'm like, "Well, don't move."
Look at this water. There's something moving out there.
But I remember like we're standing out in the rain because it's soaking us. Our parents are inside, and she did, want to do that in front of her parents. Like I'm crying and like screaming, like, "Just tell me to stay. Don't tell me you want me to leave." And she's just like, "I can't do that. I don't know why, but I can't." And it was just this whole huge thing.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, we broke up, and because I got her a job, so she worked with me. So when we broke up, she immediately started dating the other guy that I worked with. Because I was, at that point, I worked, either I was hosting, washing dishes, or bussing at this Chinese restaurant. And he was the guy I always washed dishes with.
We'll just call it Chong's.
We were fairly good friends, and it's just like, she was just immediately with him, like out of the gate. So I was like, I'm done with this job. See ya. And I remember it was awful. And
That was your first arson charge.
yeah, because then I had talked to, but we still didn't know if we were going to go to prom together. And then I called up.
Sounds like you're not. It sounds like you're not going to prom
Yeah.
together, would be my guess.
I remember it because I was driving home one day, and I started thinking about the other Catherine, the Catherine I didn't kiss.
Right.
I remember like,
No kiss, Catherine.
no kiss Catherine. I was like, I feel compelled to go to her house. I don't
kiss
know
her.
why, and but I did. I just drove immediately to her house, and when I get there, she's by herself crying. She got in a horrible fight with her boyfriend.
Did you know that beforehand or like?
No.
Okay.
I had no idea. I was just compelled to go
Yeah.
for whatever reason. And when I went,
Probably Cupid.
probably, and we sat there and we talked things out. We talked about possibly going to prom together and that we were going to walk together with graduation. She had that boyfriend, but she didn't know where this was going. This was, it was bad. So I was like, okay. And I was excited because I was like, maybe I didn't miss it. Maybe I didn't miss my shot.
That window is still open.
It was still open. I remember
The kiss window hadn't fully closed.
we talked like back and forth for a while, and then remember we finally talked, and like we thought we were going to get together. We thought everything was going to be good.
Yeah.
I remember I was in my first class all throughout my senior year was weightlifting. So I was in the weight room lifting weights. I remember that's when I heard, and strangely enough, I had this class with her boyfriend.
Okay.
So I remember I'm sitting there, I'm benching. I remember I'm not like lifting heavy. I'm just, doing baseline, just working out. I remember, and he comes in and he's got this weird kind of expression on his face.
Like you saw a ghost?
Maybe,
Okay.
but he walks in, and while I'm lifting, I kind of notice it, but I don't pay attention to him. And I hear him talking about how his girlfriend was pregnant. I remember that's when like that bench rep went up and my chest just fucking caved in, because that was the sound of it was Marshall County, super Southern, conservative Southern Baptist Society. She's pregnant. Then she's getting married.
Right.
That's it. So I heard that window slam shut.
Yeah.
And I remember that was just, it was a real rough time for a while after horrible breakup with that one Catherine, and then the opportunity that I thought about just evaporating. So if this was Catherine the game, I get the in the middle neutral ending where nothing really happens.
The kind of bad neutral ending?
The kind of
as
kind
opposed
of bad.
to the kind of good neutral ending?
I got the really bad ending with the other Catherine, and then the neutral to bad ending with the other Catherine.
Well,
It's like I said, not a funny story, but I feel like it's an appropriate story.
No, you had that thing about the tonsils being taffy. I mean, that was solid.
So TADPOG Nation, that's a little insight into my life. What was my first real heartbreaking experience?
Thank you for sharing, Tyler.
Yeah.
What's up, Internet? I'm Dave. I'm your bespectacled host. And I came in with something else prepared, but Tyler's story has inspired me. He has used his bardic ability to inspire within me something to share. And that is, I have a conversation with somebody, a close friend of mine, regularly about how, if I could, go back into the past to when I was in high school and be like, find myself and tell myself, hey, just have sex with everybody. Just have sex with everybody, because dude, this doesn't matter. You think it matters so bad right now. You think, oh my God, it matters so much. I mean, you gotta think. I mean, you got important things to think about, dude. Like, how many proms are you going to this year? You're gonna go to her prom and your prom? What? That's crazy. Where are we gonna come up with $200? I know that's what you're thinking. But I'm telling you, high school Dave, go ahead and scratch the plans with that girl, and just go to prom with somebody who will have sex with you.
It's a good call. It's a good call.
And that's how I plan on raising Henry. And I've told Nikki this. Like, I'm just gonna tell him to like just don't give a shit until after high school. Just
Don't give a shit. It'll be super hot to girls. Like if you don't give a shit in high school, give a shit when you're an adult,
right?
Because
absolutely.
It's sexy when you give a shit when you're an adult. Right. When you're a teenager, it's sexy to not give a shit.
Yeah, and somehow I flipped that. I flipped that because I gave so many shits when I was in high school, and now I've just kind of given up. So now it's just kind of like, well, I mean, all right, well, fuck it, we'll do TADPOG, see how that goes.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, man, that's how I would use my time trap, my one trip back into the past. I wouldn't go back and kill Hitler as a baby or see any of the wondrous things with my own two eyes, go see the dinosaurs. I'd go back to high school and be like, hey, man, just have sex, dude. Just have sex. You don't even fucking know what love is, man. Just be crazy for a little bit. Just be crazy for like 4 years.
But God, I had sex in high school, but I had the have sex, wait a month to make sure everything's okay, then maybe you can have sex again.
Yeah. I didn't have that. So, I mean, I can't really like sit here and criticize like how shitty that is. I mean, because I was just laying on the floor in the bathroom in the shower man and jerking it. So that's how I rolled. I don't know why I didn't do it in the shower. Weird.
Let's see, I remember if I took a bath, it was fine. But just like standing up, I got too used to laying in bed to jerk it.
Yeah.
So I remember trying to jerk it in a stand-up shower. Like so, I
like leaning.
Well, no, I laid down like in a ball trying to jerk off.
That's dangerous to do.
And my dad walked in and was like, "Why are you in the floor in the stand-up shower?"
Yeah. Well, you're tired.
I mean, I soaked up. This is the quickest way to get it all off of me.
It's about efficiency, Dad. Now get out.
Yeah. Catherine can be a sad game. So we got some intros that gave you something to think about.
Yeah.
I oftentimes refer to those moments as like, remember the movie Sliding Doors?
I've heard of the movie Sliding Doors.
It's all about a guy who, I believe, basically it's the door in the subway opening and closing. Whether he makes it into that subway car or not changes his life.
Oh, okay.
So I feel at least from my high school days, like kissing her would have been a sliding doors moment, basically for us both, because our lives both might have been dramatically different for those years had I just kissed her.
I call that's a Dancing Nancy moment. That's a Dave Matthews
Taryn
Band
has that
cut.
on her car. I've heard of that.
Yeah. You could have been a parking lot attendant, Tyler, had you kissed her. Or you could have been a millionaire in Bel Air. I'll stop before we're sued by Dave Matthews.
I was about to say, but what is a Dancing Nancy? Is that a song about that kind of choice?
That is a song about like how things could have been anything.
Is it about dancing with a girl named Nancy or not?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about
Two on the nose, Dave Matthews.
What are the different things that you could go through to dance with Nancy? It's kind of like a video game concept. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I prefer Fancy by Reba McEntire.
I prefer Fancy Nancy.
Fancy Don't Let Me Down. John Turley will enjoy that. John Turley's got the biggest boner for Reba McEntire that you can ever imagine.
I don't know. My dad might be a contender. In
we're gonna have to
biggest boner
we're gonna have to get them both and measure their Reba McEntire boners.
All right.
Has your dad seen the entire sitcom, all of Reba, like John Turley has?
No, I don't know. Probably not.
Pipe him through. We're gonna call your dad and ask him.
I might do that. I might. But then if I did that, he would want to listen to the show and be like, I want to hear how I sounded. So we're not.
You sounded terrible. Don't do it.
Yeah. Oh, awful. By the way, I never masturbated in the bathroom.
You want to talk about this game?
Yes, I do want to talk about this game because I stayed up like 36 hours to play it.
That is so incredibly impressive
stupid.
to me.
It's so stupid.
The fact that like you haven't been driven into madness Cthulhu style is astonishing to me. You looked into the well of madness and emerged on the other side just sleepy.
Yeah, just a little sleepy. I took a nap earlier. It's fine. Nikki's been incredible, especially today, because like I feel this was going to be my intro story, but like I feel like, and maybe because I played Catherine, and like you were talking about how it made you think about high school and like your Catherine situation, like it made me feel like I definitely made a good decision because she woke up this morning and saw that I was still playing the game, and instead of like being mad at me like a sitcom wife, she felt bad for me. She was like, "Oh, you're still playing?" I was like, "Yeah."
She saw how frustrating it was. She's like, "You're still, honey.
Oh, you should go to bed.
Where's the gunman that has this rifle pointed at your head making you play this game?"
So she was really awesome, and she like took care of Henry all day while I took a long fucking nap. And then, of course, Tyler, my second wife, made
I'm your work wife.
yeah, my podcast wife made great concessions to like postpone the D&D game and everything so that we could record and all that good stuff. So, good decisions. I made some good decisions. I got the right wife and the right podcast wife. It's just everything's coming up Dave today.
Yeah. All right. Do you hear that, Dave?
Yeah, it sounds kind of like oh dear.
It's taffy tonsils being extracted from my mouth.
Are you sure? It sounded like something different. It sounded like, I don't know, like someone's eating something.
Ate a lot of sherbet.
Yeah, not chewing real well. I do hear that.
I ate toast shortly after I got my tonsils out, just because.
Oh my God.
Just because everybody was like, "Don't ever do that." I was like, "Fuck it, I eat some fucking toast."
Did you die?
It was all right. I went to go see a movie that night after I got them taken out. So
I've got a secret.
yeah.
I've got all my organs.
Damn, dog. I'm missing multiple ones.
If anyone out there needs one, I will straight hook you up with an organ. But you have to donate to our Patreon.
You have to donate $10,000 a month to our Patreon and get one of Dave's kidneys.
No.
I'll put that out there too. $10,000 for like one of our kidneys. We might not have the same
We'll
blood
flip
type.
for it.
We'll see if we match with you. $10,000 a month for as long as you have that kidney to our Patreon.
You don't even have to put it in you. You can just keep it on a shelf next to your like stuffed animals and all your like books.
Are you the ultimate Tadpog fan? For just $10,000 a month, you can have this only 4 in the world Tadpog kidneys.
That's patreon.com/tadpog. I do hear that train. I do hear that weird tonsil
I don't have
train.
a gallbladder though. Tonsils and gallbladders. I got nothing for you.
I pretty much guarantee you that some of my organs need to come out. I haven't been to a doctor in a while. Something is not right with me. It sounds like the Dave reads from Wikipedia train, the tonsil train,
Yeah.
which of course ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave reads from Wikipedia. Okay, guys, Catherine, or as it's known in Japan, Kaosaren, is a puzzle platformer adventure video game developed by Atlus Persona team and published by Atlus for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It is Atlus's first international developed game for 7th generation consoles in high definition and is described as an, quote, adult-oriented title by the game's character designer, Shigenori. I'm not super familiar with Persona, so please correct me.
Jones?
Jackson? Shigenori Jackson? sounds right. Let's roll
Man,
with it.
that is my next D&D character. Oh shit, that's Shigenori Jackson.
Shigenori Sojima. Does that sound right? Does that
good.
sound familiar to you?
No.
You played Persona
I've
games.
played 3 and 4, but nope, does not sound familiar.
Well, anyway, the cinematic portion of the game is handled by Studio 4 Degrees C. Might be Celsius, might be something else. The game was released in Japan on February 17th, 2011. So they were like, let's give them Valentine's Day. They can have it, but 3 days later, Catherine.
It's pretty good.
See
It's all
if
right.
they can ruminate on their Valentine's Day decisions. Do you know Valentine's Day is probably really big in Japan?
Oh, I'd imagine
Yeah,
so.
probably really big.
We'll call Cockmaster Ashley Shake and ask him.
I think let's patch him in right now, or better, let's call my dad and just ask him.
Two questions.
Dad, I need you-
Japanese Valentine's Day and the Reba sitcom.
okay, Daddy, I need you to close your eyes and think about Reba McEntire while I ask you this question. How many
days can I ask you to let you down?
It came out later, this game, in North America, the same year, Tyler, in July 26. That's pretty much it. It's in the PlayStation Store now, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, earlier I talked about like, oh, someone holding a gun to your head to make you play this game.
Yeah.
I did not hate this game. I made it sound like it at that point.
You did. In fact, you held that gun against my head.
I have very mixed emotions about this game. At some points, I really liked it, and at other points, like it was just excruciating for me. I could not finish it. I got about 3/4 of the way through it before my brain just, nope, we're done. We're putting this down, and we're just going to move on with life.
I feel like we need to really talk about what the game is and how it plays.
Yeah.
To kind of paint that frustrating picture. But before we do that, I want to ask you what point in the game that was. Because there was a point I was playing the game where I pretty much almost completely gave
I
up.
think it was around the end of the 6th day is when I cashed it in.
I made a little bit further. I got to the clock tower, which is the 7th day, I believe.
Maybe I was in the clock tower, so maybe I made it there.
That
then.
fucking clock tower, like...
With the bombs, that's where they introduced the bombs.
I think so.
That's where I made it. I made it into the clock tower, and that's when I quit.
That I've never seen a game spike in difficulty like I saw it in the clock tower.
That had to be it then. Fuck.
Like this game, I was playing it and Nikki was watching me and she was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like I'm good at this game." and then I got to the clock tower and which is day 7. So day 7, day 8, and day 9 is just like it's like the hardest shit.
And what
in the
difficulty
world.
did you play it on?
Oh, easy.
Easy. Me too.
Easy.
When I go to play it, I'm like, I don't have a lot of time to play this game,
Right.
but I want to get through it. I'm going to set it on easy. Holy shit. Holy shit. How do you do this on medium and hard? How the fuck do you do it?
Yeah. That's a good question. It's a good question.
Puzzle games are my thing. Like Professor Layton, all the Lupia,
Yeah.
like
Those are different.
I'm good at puzzle games.
Yeah.
So like tackling this, like I felt like I should have destroyed it.
Yeah.
But-
Those are different though, because those are more logic, and this is more
Like the Cracker Barrel triangle that you'll play over and over and over again. Then once you have that one spike left, all right, good for this for the rest of my life. Somebody get a picture of it, not doing it again.
this is more spatial problems.
Tony will send us how to get the solution for the one peg in Cracker Barrel. I know it. I know as soon as I said that, he was like, I can do that. I'm going to send it to him.
Thank you, Tony. Please make a YouTube video of you playing the peg game. Please at Cracker Barrel. Okay, so let's talk about the game.
Okay.
I feel like there's two strong things that we need to talk about. We need to talk about the story, and then we need to talk about the gameplay mechanics.
Because it's two very different games, a mashup of a dating sim
Oh, dude.
and
Yes.
a puzzle game.
I've got in my notes, I would like to read to you how I like to describe this game. Tyler, it is Little Nemo meets Cubert meets Ghosts and Goblins meets Tales from the Crypt.
Okay. And Hateful Boyfriend?
I knew I could count on you to get on the dating sim because I wasn't sure which one to do because I've pretty much only played Hateful Boyfriend and Newgrounds.
Because
dating sim.
Hateful Boyfriend has the horror element to it at the end.
Okay.
So this game does have like light horror elements.
Yeah, and I say Tales from the Crypt because the game opens up not immediately in the story. It opens up like there is the Crypt Keeper, but instead of the Crypt Keeper, it is a beautiful red-haired woman with an enormous afro.
That
enormous
sparkles.
afro.
It's very shiny.
Who like introduces herself as the Midnight Venus Trisha, I believe, and goes on to
Now I get it.
Thank you.
Okay.
goes on to introduce the main character Vincent and the dilemma that he's in, and it made me think. And then like she's like, "Let's see how it unfolds." I couldn't help but like because the whole game's subtitled, by the way. She's speaking in English, but there's subtitles at the bottom.
I think you have to play the game with subtitles on. You can turn them off, but I did not like them off.
If you have a 3-month-old, you definitely play it with the subtitles on. And when she was talking, I couldn't help but read it in the Crypt Keeper voice, which was really, I'm sure, entertaining for everybody who was there. Because that's exactly what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Tales from the Crypt, where the Crypt Keeper is like, let's see what Vincent's up to today.
Because really, like, stylistically, I love this game, how the art and how it's laid out, and just everything about its style, I think, is great. I think the music is good.
Yeah.
The
a little sparse.
Artistic, yeah, it is sparse. But just looking at I think watching this game with somebody who's amazing at it would be fantastic. But saying it looks and sounds like the use of I feel like it's got a good use of color in both the regular world and the nightmare world.
Yeah.
So graphic wise and art direction, love it. I think it's great.
The character designs are great. I really like those. I think they're really strong. There is a mix between 3D cell shaded graphics and anime.
Yeah.
They use both. They seem to use the anime sparingly, which I thought my biggest complaint with the art was that sometimes a scene would start in 3D cell shading mode and then it would switch halfway into anime. That was a little jarring. I liked the animation. I thought I thought it was well drawn. It looked good, but it was just
it's done. It looks like Cowboy Bebop. The anime does.
Yeah.
Because Vincent looks a little bit like Spike.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I almost put Cowboy Bebop on my list of mashups for what this game is, but I didn't want to do that to Cowboy Bebop. No offense, Catherine. And then, of course, I said Q*bert. It reminds me of Q*bert because of the actual way the game works. Because, Tyler, if you'll take a mind trip back with me, past the point where I visit myself in high school and give myself sage advice, way back to Q*bert, that's immediately what this game reminded me of, because Q*bert is a 3D stage where you jump from platform to platform on these cube-looking landscape. In this game, it reminded me a lot of Q*bert because that's all you're doing is you are navigating these cube mazes. I think the other day you described it beautifully. You compared it to the one minigame in Super Mario RPG where you're on the pirate ship, the sunken pirate ship, and you have to navigate this 3-dimensional maze that's composed of cubes. And you're not exactly sure what's going on in that maze.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what this game is. And do you remember, this is a long ass time ago on TADPOG, I mentioned a game called Pushmo for the 3DS, where it's a puzzle game and you are this little sumo wrestling creature that pushes blocks around. Pushmo is essentially Catherine. It's Catherine with different graphics and without the sexy story attached to it.
Womp womp.
So, but it's also a little more forgiving. So, I mean, the focus is more on the puzzle game, but it's all about pushing blocks around to make a path for you to go somewhere. And in Catherine, every stage is, you're the main character, Vincent, and you need to ascend. You need to climb up the top of a tower. And in order to do that, you have to push blocks around to make stairwells, and you have to...
Because the tower is basically composed of these magical cubes.
And they're disappearing at the bottom.
So you're on a strict timer about how quickly you have to do this.
Some stages, there's more of a headache than others as far as the time constraint goes.
Because, or just spoilers, we could set up the story. So spoilers, I think Catherine's worth playing, so I'm not going to say don't play it, just keep listening to the episode. It's a cult classic game at this point. It has a strong and small fan base. So, and I know I've seen people comment about how much, because we mentioned talking about Catherine, and people have already commented on the Facebook how much they love this game. So it definitely, I can see why it has a strong appeal to people, and I think it's worth playing. So pause this episode, check it out, give it a shot before you finish this episode because we're going to spoil it.
Or if it doesn't sound like what you're
Your
into,
cup of tea, yeah.
then fucking listen. Because,
Yeah.
like, honestly, well, actually, I take that back. I take that back.
I mean, if they've
because-
gotten this far, we've got their download, so it's fine if they want to go play that.
No, I take it back because this game, I thought that I would hate this game. I legitimately thought that I would hate this game based on everything that
I was in the middle
it.
of my rage quits when I was describing it to you.
Well, I mean, and it's not just you, right? Because yes, I know you were frustrated when you were talking to me about it, but I also, before I played it, I read a little bit about it online. I didn't really like the concept of the story because I was really doubtful that it was going to be an interesting story because it sounded like a pretty standard pervy dating sim storyline.
Yeah.
And the cover art of the game is essentially Sailor Moon with
You're right.
taking her dress off with some, like her enormous banging titties pushed together, and there's a tiny man inside the cleavage, and then there's a sheep tumbling off of her breast.
Yep.
So I saw that art, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this game. Don't get me wrong. I like large breasts, but I'm of the age where I think I would rather just spend 20 minutes watching pornography than 17 hours playing a game.
If I had been 15 when I played this game, would have been
Oh my
great.
God.
Been great.
Yes. But
I would have been like, which ending do they fuck in? Because I'm going to
Yeah,
get that one.
exactly.
And I'm going to jerk it to the 15 seconds of them having sex.
I can't actually do it because mom and dad are around, so I'm just going to concentrate.
I can't actually do it because it's really fucking hard.
I'm going to memorize the scene and then rush to the bathroom, lie on the floor, turn the shower on. So I thought that I was going to hate this game. I started it. The story sucked me in immediately. It really did. And I think the character design had a lot to do with that. It's not nearly as sexually explicit as
It's not.
the cover indicates, or as any of the language describing the game would make you believe. It's really tame. I was surprised. I can see maybe not wanting your 7-year-old to play it, but your 11-year-old,
Your 8-year-old,
probably. I mean, honestly, nothing stood out as oh my God, that's awful. But I've also watched a lot of awful things, so maybe it's just perspective. I was surprised by how much I liked this game. I really, really did enjoy it. It's got its problems. There are problems to this game, and that my biggest complaint is that weird spike in the difficulty around the clock tower, the 7th stage. But other than that, I couldn't believe how much I got into the story, because that's why I wanted to finish the game. I wanted to, the mechanics were fun to me. I had some experience with similar mechanics in Pushmo, which I liked. So I wanted to continue to explore that, but I would have quit the game because it got so difficult. I would have quit the game if I didn't want to know what happened in the story.
Yeah.
So I totally recommend this game. 100%, even if you don't think it sounds like something you're into, because I really didn't think I was going to be into it.
Yeah, or do what I did. Play it until it starts to break you, and then watch the 2 hours of cutscenes on YouTube and all the endings.
Yeah, beauty of the internet.
Yeah.
You really, you don't really need to play this game, but I would.
Yeah, because let's see. So spoilers really start here, because the story is about Vincent, who is because I guess he's
32 years old.
32 years old. He's a computer programmer.
He's a coder, yeah.
And he's been in a relationship with Catherine with a K, for years and years and years now.
Right. They met at the high school reunion.
So they've been he won't really commit to her. He's kind of scared about where to go. She clearly is ready to make this commitment.
Yeah, that's the opening scene with her. Is pretty much are you going to marry me?
Yeah, it kind of, you get the, what I do, I give the story credit because it's well written in the regard of, when you meet Catherine, you see that Vincent, you get the feeling he's kind of a browbeaten individual, and Catherine is very strict.
Yes.
And tells him what to do.
Yes.
That she's his boss every bit as much as his
Yes,
girlfriend.
absolutely. It was like an episode of Golden Boy.
Yeah, because and you tell by her character design, she wears a lot of black. That it's not conservative by any means, but she wears black. She's very nicely dressed.
Yeah. Glasses.
Glasses. Yeah, she looks like she's well designed for what her character is.
She's business professional girlfriend.
Yes, very much. And you see Vincent, like, he loves her. Yeah, I guess he wants to be with her, but he's just not sure. He just can't make that move. And she's talking about, like, she's ready for him to take the plunge. All her friends and family are like, why aren't you married yet?
They're married. They have kids. We understand this storyline. And by me, I'll say I understand this storyline.
And then he has a bar he goes to every night.
Yes, the Stray Sheep.
So he goes there, and he's got 3 friends, which are the typical tropey archetypes of buddies.
Yeah, they are very...
I think they were more of the weaker part.
Yeah, they're very swingers.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've got the one who's calm and kind of abrasive. And
Johnny the smoker.
You've got one who is a more clear Lothario. He throws it around everywhere, and he's your bachelor buddy.
Hat guy.
Orlando.
Hat guy Orlando.
And then the bashful virgin who wants to fall in love and get married and have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And then their favorite waitress, Alice, and
Erica.
I'm sorry, yeah, Erica. And then the bartender who owns the whole place, they just call him boss.
Yes. Spoilers, he's the boss of the game. Which I think was... pretty brilliant. I thought it was pretty brilliant because, at no point is there any indication that this guy is going to be the boss.
Yeah, he just looks like he's just a weird guy,
and he's always friendly to you at the gate. And you hang out with him at the bar. He serves you drinks. He wears shades inside. That's a little ominous, but other than that, he's always smiling.
Yeah.
So when it turns out that he was the boss, I was like, well, they did tell me that. I shouldn't be surprised.
But one night, his friends are kind of he's torn him. Each one gives you a different direction to go. So he doesn't know who to listen to. Eventually, they all leave. He starts getting drunk. And then suddenly, just out of the blue, this beautiful woman just appears beside him.
Big titty Sailor Moon.
Big titty Sailor Moon. Catherine with a C.
Yeah.
And Catherine immediately just charms the pants off of him.
Yeah.
And
it's stark contrast, right? You just had a scene where this drab woman is lecturing you. And then all of a sudden this bubbly, youthful character shows up and is just like, hey, it's cool. It's cool. We can just drink. That's fine.
You have a girlfriend? I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And then you're constantly getting text messages from your girlfriend and your friends while you play. So you check. There's also your karma meter. You'll talk to people and they'll ask you a question.
Yes.
Depending on how you answer, because I guess is it called a karma meter? Because it's one side is purple and one side is red. And depending on which way you go, it will tick either more or farther into the other direction.
It's order or chaos.
Yeah.
And typically, I wanted to ask you this because I answered all questions honestly. I played Vincent like I was pretty much playing me up until a certain point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up that meter because at the end of every stage, you climb the tower, you hear church bells ringing, and you get to this landing. Once you clear the stage, you get to this landing where everybody who's been climbing with you, they're there just hanging out. There's a book. You can go and save your progress. And then there in the back, to get to the next stage, is a confession booth. And you go to this confession booth, and this child's voice on the other side of the screen asks you a question. And that question is always a personal question. He will ask you, I don't know, what are some of the good ones? Do you consider yourself a masochist or a sadist? Kind of question. And 2 ropes appear. And you pull whichever rope. One rope will be labeled masochist. And if that's what you consider yourself, you pull that one. The other, of course, is sadist. So you make your choice. And then whatever choice you make, the meter will show up. And it will let you know if your answer was in favor of order or chaos.
And that determines there are 9 endings of the game. So however much you have in one certain direction and how you answer a few of those questions determine your ending.
I'm glad I didn't know that going in because there's really there's no indication other than the fact that there is a meter, which kind of, you see a meter and you play video games long enough, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is probably going to have some kind of impact on the story.
Yeah, because Catherine with the K dresses in cool colors. So basically she's order. All her answers go in that direction. Catherine with the C dresses in warm colors and the red part of the meter, and it'll go in that direction depending on what you choose. But she meets you and charms you, and the next morning when Vincent wakes up, he's in bed with her. Doesn't remember anything that happened, but he's like, oh no, I cheated on my girlfriend.
Which made me feel awful because when I was playing it, I was like, yeah, I cheated on that girlfriend.
See, that's the thing that I like about the writing is you feel like that at first. You're like, well, yeah, I'm going to date this girl. Clearly the other one's just trying to control me.
Yep.
Vincent but they write it really well to where you can't really make up your mind because eventually you start seeing all the benefits to Catherine with a K and how much she cares about you and worries about you, wants to help take care of you. She's really not that domineering, but she wants you, wants the best for you. She loves you. The other, Catherine with a C, you eventually start seeing that she's crazy. So she has these intense moments that are just scary. So you don't know. I don't know if I want to be with her because she's nuts, but at the same time, she's attractive and wants to have fun. Like they make it where you don't. You waffle back and forth. You're not really sure. I think that's the way I felt, at least.
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody, but I think that is a testament to the writing. I think a testament to the writing is that I feel like the story is written so that you can make your own interpretation of what's going on. Because for me, I was totally Catherine with a C, like 100%, because I'm not a guy who likes to be in a relationship where it's like, okay, well, this is what you got to do. Yeah. Like that is not my thing at all. Yeah. I hate that. So I was super, super anti Catherine with a K. So I was.
Remember the first time I didn't like her was whenever she chastises Vincent for getting a new cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was just like, it's weird because like with them being like, order and chaos. I mean, they are like good representations of that because they are to the extreme on either side. So just because of that, I gravitated towards Catherine with a C for a very, very long time, up until, it was late in the game. This is after Catherine with a K eventually tells you that she's pregnant.
Which they even write that really well because I feel like they do it at a moment when you're very strongly into Catherine with a C. Yeah. She tells you she's pregnant, and then that swayed me to be like, okay, well, all right, things... Vincent needs to step up. This is what has happened. But as soon as that happens, because I guess we glossed over the part where you can go in the bar and check out the TV, and there's all these deaths happening in the city.
Right. This is kind of important. This ties in the real world to the part of the game where you're scaling the tower.
That people are having weird dreams, and people are just popping up dead. These random men are just popping up dead in their apartments, have just died in their sleep, and no one can really figure out why.
There's a rumor.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that it's a curse that happens every 100 years where men who are unfaithful are cursed to climb a tower in their dreams. And if they fall and die in that dream before they wake up, they die in real life.
So what happens as Vincent, every night you go to sleep, you're suddenly ascending this tower.
And that's the puzzle. That's where the little Nemo part came in. Because it did revive because it's like every night is a level. So like I really wish they would have done this little cutscene before the level begins where there's a bed and Vincent's wearing a little nightcap and a little pajamas and runs. Yeah, exactly. Runs and jumps in the bed.
Catherine with the K calls him and tells him, "You better go to bed."
I think that's more Catherine with a K. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And Catherine with the C is an animal that he gets inside.
And eventually, because when he's in this dream world, which they make that, it's scary and strange as you're climbing this tower to survive. Everyone else that you see are all like anthropomorphic sheep. Right. And Vincent has horns. He's in his boxers and he's carrying a pillow.
Yes. Which I love that he was
pillow. That's one of my country words that I have to work on. Pillow. My parents say Pella. So yeah. So I have to pillow. That's a country word that's very hard for me to break.
Have you expressed your love of pillows on this show before?
I don't think I have.
Because like I thought it was great that Vincent, the main character, had a pillow, because I was thinking about you, because like you travel around with a pillow.
Basically everywhere I go. Right now, I'm recording this. I have a pillow in my lap. Everywhere I go, if I'm at your house, I will grab one of your sofa pillows. I will ask to get the pillow off your bed. Anytime I'm just hanging out, hell, even when I'm driving, I keep a pillow in my car that I will put in my lap. I always want a lap pillow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it reminded you every time, because like the stage opens up with like this stream of red light coming out from a doorway, and like all these bipedal sheep are just kind of like marching towards it, and then you see Vincent in the middle and his boxers like grabbing a pillow around his chest, and every time I was like, there's Tyler with this pillow.
Every time I go over to like Josh and Nicole's house, like when we're hanging out, I'll like, hey Josh, can I get one of your pillows? Oh yeah, sure. And Nicole's very quickly, get Josh's. It's like she doesn't want that pillow that she rests her face on to be in my crotch for the next 4 or 5 hours while we hang out. But you can talk to these other sheep. Like they'll talk to you, and they have human voices, and they're worried, and you see they're all like, it's basically survival of the fittest in here.
Yeah, it's Lord of the Flies.
Because Vincent sees himself as human and sees everybody else as sheep, and that's the same way for all the other sheep. They don't recognize them as being people,
right.
So they have no problem. If you're sitting in the tower, there's a sheep in front of you, if I can kick them out of the way and climb over them, you have to get to the top of the tower. So very few people will actually work together. You're just killing each other as you try to get higher and higher.
It is really annoying when you're trying to climb and there's another sheep in the way, because it's like they are always where you need to be. Mm-hmm. Like they really are. Like they're where you need to be. So yeah, I mean, you got to push those sheep out of the way. Mm-hmm. You got to push those sheep out of the way, or you're both going to die.
They will push you out of the way either. So it's not like you can like be a nice guy and wait. Like they'll just come over and try to kick you off. Mm-hmm. Occasionally because you'll go up so many levels, you'll get to a safe landings to where you can save and where the other sheep are. And instead of like a church, basically, in front of the confessional,
right?
Some of the sheep, like one might have a police hat because he's a cop in the real world. Another has a business, or has a tie on because he's a suit. And
most of them have accessories that
you can
allow
try
you to identify
figure out
them in real life.
Yeah. But of course, because the thing is, when you wake up, no one who's in the dream remembers it. When they might have like, what just happened? I had a nightmare, but they don't put things together in the real world. It's strictly what you remember at night is what you remember at night. But when you talk to some of the sheep, they'll want to share techniques with you and actually work with you. Very few number. So yeah, you'll talk about different ways, like how you stack a pyramid of blocks to ascend. The tornado is where you pull certain blocks and move around on the edges because it's a 3D puzzle. Because it just composes the blocks. You can push, pull, you pull them out, like basically to make a staircase, and you can hang off the edges. So you'll pull one out and go around to the back of the puzzle to ascend and pull another one out.
Imagine you're a mouse and you're climbing a Jenga tower.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But here's the only thing that bugged me is like the timing in a lot of levels is super critical. And I feel like the controls were a little wonky because it's very
critical. Especially when you're grabbing the edge.
Yeah.
Like that is the mechanic in the game it's a great mechanic, right? Because you have to use that in later levels. You have to like grab onto the edge of blocks and kind of like shimmy your way over.
Because as long as the blocks are touching on the edges, they will fully support each other. They don't have to be underneath each other like a Jenga block would be.
Right.
So it's a lot of times like the bottom level's coming, I'll need to push a block to quickly pull up on it, and I'll push it.
You'll face, yeah.
Done.
That has happened to me so many times.
So many times. Or you'll push a block because it's 3-dimensional, but the camera doesn't go all the way behind the tower. So I'll push one in, not know where the fuck I am, dead. Or I'll get on the edge and try to circle around, but I'll go the wrong direction because the controls once you're on the edge are weird. Because I would press left twice, but then go like behind the block.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to rotate the camera, and you can't see where you are, and then suddenly you just fall off.
Yeah. All of this under the intense pressure of a time limit.
Time limit, specialty blocks, other sheep.
Yeah. My favorite was when you would you mentioned this, instead of pulling a block, you would push it. And that block would just plummet down into space below. And then 3 seconds later, you realize, oh, I definitely needed that block in order to get up.
If they're not supported, the blocks will fall down. So you push one the wrong way, a whole layer of blocks will just fall.
Yeah.
So if you spend more than like 15 seconds on something, you've wasted enough blocks that you fucked up and you're going to start over.
Absolutely. That is a wonderful statement. That sums up like the game.
Yep.
You're 100% right. If you feel like you're struggling in a spot for 15 seconds, you're done.
Yep.
You
fucked
done.
up. It was a lot simpler than whatever you did.
Yep.
You didn't do it right.
We played an easy, which means that we got to undo some of our
you get 11
actions.
moves you can undo, so it was good. But what I do like about the difficulties is each difficulty, the puzzle is different.
Yeah.
So it's not like you don't have like the time is fewer or they're more sheep. Like the dynamic completely changes.
I like that, but that's also terrifying because like I can't imagine Clock Tower on normal, let alone fucking hard.
Yeah.
And what kills me is when you're selecting your difficulty, like easy says, this is for the beginner player who just wants to get through the story. It's like, fuck you. GameFAQs had this ranked by their users as the 5th hardest. I think they put it in an adventure game, the 5th hardest adventure game on the PlayStation 3.
Oh man!
So I think what we should do is play the top 5 hardest PlayStation 3 adventure games.
Because I remember the first time I heard about this game was in the back of a Game Informer.
I had never heard of it. I'm glad that you had heard of it.
And then as I was reading it, I think it got like an 8 out of 10. The biggest detriment was the spike. It was just the difficulty.
Yeah.
That it was unnecessarily frustratingly difficult at several moments. And you can get bonus items. There's one sheep who his goal is just to make money. Like, as you find coins on the ground.
I never talked to that asshole.
I had to eventually. Yeah. I had to because I wanted the energy drink. The energy drink lets you climb 2 blocks at once.
Yeah.
That is a fucking huge help. So you can either get like make a block, kill all the other sheep around you.
Yeah, the lightning.
There are blocks that are immovable. There's an item that lets you change all the movable blocks into movable blocks.
The bell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the energy drink, I think, is the best one.
Yeah, I like the energy drink, although that's, you know how I am with consumables in any game. Like I just hold on to that consumable, to a frustrating degree.
Yeah.
Because like there was a level, it was in the clock tower. I was having so much trouble. I had the power up that allows you to just create a block out of thin air. All I had to do was use it. I was at the top. All I had to do was use it. And I don't want to use it. So like I'm just like scrambling. I'm like I'm hanging onto a ledge, just like doing crab walks and shit, like trying to find a way. And Nikki's watching me and she's like, "You've got a block. You got a block that you can use." And I'm like, I know, but the game is designed. There's a way to do this without using the block. And she's like, "Yeah, but you got a block. All you got to do is use that block and you can get to the top." And I didn't use it. I did not.
I think the only negative is every time you use an item, it downgrades your trophy you get at the end.
Which isn't a big deal.
Nope. Didn't give a fuck about that.
Well,
bronze, thank you. I'll fucking take it.
It's not a big deal to normal people is what I was going to say, but it made a difference to me. And this is kind of fucked up. I thought about playing this game on normal. Like if I hadn't been so fucking tired.
You pulled masochist when it was your choice of what rope to use.
Surprisingly not. But man, I just wanted to see what normal is like. I just wanted to see what normal is like.
Because I think Josh and Nicole are like going to come over later to hang out and play games. And I want them to play this. I just want to see their impression of it. Because when I was talking about the sheep people, that immediately made Nicole interested.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, then let's play it.
It's a cool concept. Like this game, I was super surprised because the concept is original. It feels like nothing I've ever played before. And the story is surprisingly compelling. I do have a complaint about the story. You and I were talking about it earlier and how it's kind of open to interpretation. My biggest complaint is I felt constrained by the narrative. I felt like there were things that I wanted Vincent to do that I had no option of allowing him to do it. An example being, I just wanted to break up with Catherine with a K.
Yeah.
Like, because the whole thing is he feels so guilty for cheating on Catherine with a K. My solution to that was, I don't like her anyway. Let's break up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't feel guilty. You're doing the right thing. You're telling her, hey, look, you want a serious relationship. I don't want a serious relationship. I'm just going to break up with you.
Yeah.
That is not an option. And I understand why it's not, because then the endings don't fucking work.
Yeah.
But like it was frustrating to play a game that doesn't have an open narrative where you can just be like, no, we're done. We're done. This is not good for either of us.
Yeah. Here's the super spoiler. So here, I'm about to spoil everything right now. Where the game, the part of the story that I didn't like, I wish it would have been a straight up choose between the Catherines. But the story sets you up in such a way where I felt compelled to go with Catherine with a K because she's human.
Yeah.
Because, spoiler, Catherine with a C is a succubus who's there to fuck your life up. Because at one point, you break up with Catherine with a C, and she goes fucking ballistic. She kicks your ass.
Beats the shit out of you in the bathroom in the bar.
And then you wake up at your apartment. Catherine with a K comes over, and you're kind of thinking about getting back together, smoothing things out. Suddenly, Catherine with a C is behind you in her underwear and invites Catherine with a C in and tries to murder her. Tries to just fuck all your shit up. She grabs a kitchen knife and goes ballistic.
Yeah.
So it makes you like, all right, well, I gotta go with Catherine with a K. It only makes sense. I wish it would have been straight up these two different women, and you have to choose.
Two different humans.
Two different humans. Give it, not leave the supernatural out of some of it and just make it like these are your two choices, real choices for Vincent, as opposed to taking this. You can still choose either one, but it feels, really? You're going to go with the succubus that tried to murder you and everybody else and has been murdering and seducing men for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Hey, Tyler, guess what point in the story I came back around to Catherine with a K?
Yeah. Because you eventually she gets sucked into the world with you.
Yeah.
Catherine, and you realize that Vincent realizes, regardless of your choice, that he loves Catherine and she means a lot to him.
And see, that was another point in the story where I felt like I was being guided, and I didn't like that, because it was like, well, fuck, I put all of this into, being a free man and kind of just doing what I feel like Vincent needs to do for Vincent to be happy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the game is totally pushing me
you in that
to
direction.
Catherine with a K.
Yeah.
And at that point, my meter's all weird. Because as I was playing this game, we talked about that karma meter, right? Through my I tried to answer everything honestly. And because of that, it kind of just stayed neutral. And every now and then it would kind of click to either order or chaos. But as I was playing the game, I was like, man, I know this is going to give me a certain ending. I know this meter has something to do with an ending, and I know I'm going to get a shitty one, because I have never played a video game where there is some kind of karma meter and the middle gives you a good ending.
Yeah.
The middle is always oh, well, you went the middle road. You're going to get a middle ending.
Life is full of extremes, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
No presidential candidate or reasonable person. Life is all about extremes.
Yeah. So I don't like that in video. That's one thing that I think video games could do better is that, where it's it does feel like in every game that has this system, you're rewarded for going one extreme or the other. Fable even,
Yeah. You have to be angelic or devil horns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Fallout 3, because it provides decent rewards for you just being neutral.
Okay.
But yeah, by far the majority is the same thing for Mass Effect. You need to be either Paragon or Renegade to unlock all your best abilities. Making a reasonable choice and going either way with what you feel the situation is.
Which, spoilers.
You either punch that reporter or you don't every single time.
I never understood why they did that. But I'm playing KOTOR, and now I do, because it's essentially light side, dark side.
Yeah.
I never played Knights of the Old Republic, so it's I didn't make the connection that, Mass Effect is Star Wars. It's just not Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And the puzzle, I feel like the puzzle was too much of the game. I would have liked to have seen more real world story and the two Catherines, because even in the real world, you're supposed to play that puzzle in the form of the arcade machine at the bar.
Yeah, Rapunzel, the Rapunzel machine.
Which is basically just the puzzle you're doing in like 8-bit format. So you're supposed to play that for more rewards and things like that. So no matter what, you're playing this fucking puzzle a lot.
I played it once, and then it was like, well, I'm just going to not do the optional puzzle. I'll just do the required puzzle.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something, Tyler. There is nothing like pulling the rope that says there's no use denying it in the confessional booth in front of your mom when the game asks if you're a pervert.
That's pretty good.
She was sitting there eating her lunch, and it was like the question came up, and I was thinking to myself, well, I promised myself I'd answer honestly.
Like you just look at her. Remember that time Dad caught me with porn? And you're still looking at her when you press the X button and it pulls the pervert rope.
I'm a freak, Mom.
Go ask Nikki. Have the most awkward conversation you've ever had.
You want to ruin both of your weeks?
But there's one point, I think I was, because each of the bosses are symbolic to something in Vincent's world that he's not sure if he wants to accept or run from. Like there's a bride and a baby and things like that are bosses that are chasing you. The boss levels are very quick. Like you have to fucking get up the tower no more than like 3 or 4 seconds per each section of the tower, each puzzle. You just have to fucking book it.
And I think the boss levels are easy compared to the regular levels.
There's one that I could not do it. I could not figure it out. I was just having to pause and think, and it was killing me. Because there were 2 points in the game that I just got completely lost. The first one I just didn't know, which was there are spike blocks. And once you move over a spike block, the spikes come up, they don't come back up again. So you're supposed to run over spike blocks and hang off the edge, and then you can stand on them and pull blocks.
A la Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that part of the puzzle I just couldn't get past until I had to pull up a walkthrough. It was like, oh, okay, that's what
they don't reset.
I didn't know the rule. So, but the other was, there was this one boss that I just could not figure out what to do. Like she was just killing me consistently. I think it was the bride maybe.
Okay.
But it was just like...
Catherine with a K is a giant monster bride.
Yeah. And it was just... I did it around 20, 30 times before I was like, okay. And I watched a YouTube video and I was doing everything pretty perfectly, but a few things. So I was having to... And your timing has to be fucking spot on perfect. You can't take that second beat to push a block or she's got you.
Yeah.
So I am like having to I play it, I do a section, pause the game, play the YouTube video, watch the next section, pause that, go back to the game, play it again. And even then it took me several times to get to the top and beat this fucking boss. It was that was nearly the beginning of the end for me.
Yeah.
Whenever it got me to that point.
I had more problems with the regular platforming levels than I did the bosses. And I think it's because the bosses cater more to my play style for this game, because the whole time I played this game, I like playing it through instinct as opposed to thinking things out.
Yeah, I need to make this
and planning your steps.
Pattern here because there are these certain blocks here.
So playing the bosses was easier for me because it was just kind of like, okay, there's my next step. There's my next step. There's my next step. There's my next step. As opposed to I need to do these 4 things in order to progress.
Because I think most of the time, because I guess I was thinking too linearly for some of it, because when you have to reach into the background to pull out blocks, that's usually where my thinking process didn't go there. I was just working with what was in front of me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think about the background blocks.
Yeah.
So a lot of times that's what I was missing, and then I had to pull the background out and then make a bridge across the air with it.
Yeah.
Is where it would get me. Because where there were sections of 2 different towers, and you had to constantly make bridges to go up 10 feet, make a bridge, go across the other tower, go up 10 feet, make a bridge, go back to the other tower.
It's stressful.
But there are 9 endings of this game based on your karma and your decisions, because there's a true ending for both Catherines, 2 good endings for both Catherines, 2 bad endings for both Catherines, a good neutral ending and a true neutral ending, and then the 9th ending for unlocking everything in the game. So, do we want to diagnose endings? Because it's about what you would think it would be.
I mean, not really, right? They're all on YouTube.
Yeah.
I feel like if anyone wants to watch them, they could. I mean, is there something specific that you want to talk about?
My favorite ending is the good Catherine ending.
Catherine with a C. Yeah, mine
with a
too.
C.
Which is fucked up because it's like you're being
Or
rewarded.
not the true Catherine ending.
You're being rewarded for the most chaotic possible outcome.
But you become a demon lord.
Yeah, you're
in hell. You overthrow Catherine's father and take over hell, and that was entertaining to me.
Catherine's dad, Al Borden, demon lord.
It's true. He was like a chimera Al Borland. There we go.
Borland, sorry.
And then Catherine, the true Catherine with a K's ending is just what you would think it'd be. They get married, have a perfect wedding, and everyone's happy. All your Lothario friends decide they want to settle down like you do, and
I kind of like that ending because it ties up some of the knots that need to be tied up, and it confirms some parts of the story. Like Erica, the waitress, was actually a man at one point.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Oh yeah, early because the naive, the virgin friend of yours is all like, "Oh man, Erica is into me. She is punching my V card." Literally says that. It's not just us who talks like that.
Yeah.
And Orlando, Hat Man, is like, "Ooh, okay." And I'm like, what's weird about that? Next night, they're at the bar, and he's like, you're Toby, I think his name is.
Yeah, you're right. It's Toby.
Which played by the guy who played Toby in The Office. It's really weird. He's like, me and Erica, we did it. Punch my V card. And Orlando's like, oh, really? And he's got like the anime like sweat beads on his face. And he's like, how did that go? And Toby's like, well, it was weirder than I thought it would be. It wasn't really what I expected. It kind of felt a little weird. And
it's about as Japanese as it gets.
Yeah.
And this is where they fucking nothing wrong with the trans community, but in Japan, it's kind of like they treat androgyny and stuff differently than we do over here.
Sure. And so as time goes on, you learn that talking to the patrons that Erica went to high school with all these friends, Vincent and his friends, and she disappeared for a while, and then she came back. And when she came back, she was different, but they never say like how she was different. And then so I thought it was cool because they just allude that she's transgender, without no one ever really comes out and says, "Oh, she's transgender." But then that Catherine with a K good ending, there is a line where Erica wraps her arm around Toby and says something like, "It's a shame you didn't know me back when I was Eric."
Oh, okay. All right, that clicks. I remember because he asked for his V card back, and she's like, "Nope, that card's been punched. There's no going back."
Exactly. And then she apparently is the witch who has cursed everybody, all the men, and that's why all of
she basically summons Catherine and everybody to.
I don't know about that
because when she was Eric, she got her heart broken and then was done being a man, and then comes back. That makes more sense now. Okay. And then curses all men for their behavior.
And that's why all of the patrons in the Stray Sheep are the ones you see in the dream world. Because she can't curse them unless she sees them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird because like that's revealed to you in a way where she's kind of like, wait, I'm the witch?
Yeah, she didn't know that she was just subconsciously cursing everybody.
I thought that was kind of lazy.
But and then the reason for the curse is these demons have to enforce humans populating the earth. Anybody who won't get married and propagate the species deserve to be culled out. So that's the point of all of it.
I kind of tuned out to that because I was like, when I read that, I was like, that's dumb. And we've reached the point where it's dumb.
Yep.
And I felt like that was dumb. I thought it was weird that like Catherine with a C, once you deal with her in game, which is like day 7, the rest of the game has pretty much nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's all about the bartender. It's all about Boss.
Yeah.
Who turns out to be, like I said earlier, spoilers, the boss of the game, who is a giant version of his head with a beard and chops made out of sheep. And he's got one red glowing eye. The main reason, all this buildup, I want to mention This is probably my favorite thing in a video game. It's near the top of one of my favorite things in a video game ever. I can't decide if it is super lame or just super cool. Either way, it was hilarious. When this boss, this demon lord, this god, Tyler, quotes DMX. He quotes DMX when he says to Vincent, "You're about to make me lose my cool up in here." You think this is a game, Vincent?
Bark like a chihuahua.
So I thought that was pretty great. Play it for the DMX reference, please. It's at the very end of the game, but it's worth it.
But I remember this is one. This came out in a clump of games that I wanted to play because, like, Catherine, Shadow of the Damned, and I've got it over there. A game where you're a fallen angel. All came out at the same time, and they're all three very distinct games that follow this kind of offbeat, more indie mentality for a mainstream game. So far, this is the second of those. I've played Shadow of the Damned. So this far, the second of the three games that I remember, like, I want to play all three of these games badly. So far, I haven't been disappointed or let down by any of them because I enjoyed Catherine to an extent. It's just, you're right, it does have its issues, but there's a lot of good there to still be had.
Didn't you expect it to be more sexual?
I did.
Like, I really thought it was going to be...
I thought Catherine would be naked, Catherine with the sea, all over the place.
No, not at all.
But,
which I'm fine with because, like, there is a point where, like I said earlier, I mean, if you want to see a naked woman, you can just get on the internet. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I've had a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
There is one thing. There's a couple things that I haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
That I want to mention. We talked about a few of the bosses, right? With the Catherine with a K, Bridezilla monster. And also at one point, one of the bosses is a giant baby who keeps calling you, "Come play with me, daddy." My point is that the symbolism in this game is pretty subtle.
It's true.
My favorite boss, the whole reason I want to talk about bosses was not only because of the DMX reference, which is totally worth playing just for that, but the second boss, I guess, represents your fear of women. And the boss is essentially, imagine a woman crawling around backwards. Okay,
yeah.
She's on her hands and feet, right? And she's crawling around backwards. She has a nose where your tailbone would be, and then she has an eye on top of one butt cheek and an eye on top of the other butt cheek, and then where her lady parts and her pooper is just Venom's mouth.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I totally forgot about that because it is very weird.
That is a part where I was playing and Henry was awake and like watching, where I just kind of looked over at him like, "Oh man, I hope this is repairable."
Yep, that's what they're like. Be careful.
So I definitely wanted to mention that boss because it was like it rang pretty high on the ludicrous scale. I was like, okay, this is probably worth mentioning on our show where we talk about coming. And there's cocktail trivia, which I thought was hilarious. Did you ever get the cocktail trivia? When you're in the bar, if you hit the square button, you drink. You just drink a beverage, an alcoholic beverage. When you finish that drink and set it down, this screen pops up and it's like, "Hey, we got some cocktail trivia for you." And then they just give you a little bit of trivia based on what you drank. If you drink whiskey, they're like, "Let me tell you about the Angel's Share. You know the whiskey that evaporates? Angel drank it." Trivia. So, okay. So I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, I really wish there'd been more real world stuff in this game.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that too. I know I'm running us long.
It's okay.
But it's just I want to talk about this game so much. What I liked about this game is the way that it was handled when you interact with other players, or not other players, other characters, because it would have been so easy for them to go like dating sim, hateful boyfriend route, where it's just, okay, here's a background, here's a still illustration of a character you're talking to. It's not like that. It's more immersive. You're actually walking around this 3D bar and talking to patrons. It made me think that I haven't played any of the new Persona games, but it made me hopeful that they're like that. Because I'd really like to see an RPG where it goes back to that SNES 16-bit style of like you walking around a town talking to people, but instead of a town, it's like it's a 3D village that you walk around.
That's how Persona is, because you'll have the map of Japan with points, and then you'll fast travel to every point, but once you get to that point, then you walk around the 3D, you walk around the building.
Okay.
Or you walk around the mall and talk to other characters and other people.
I like that a lot. I really do. I think I will, based on that, I'm more likely to check out a new Persona game because I loved it. And I loved like...
Persona 5 looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I love when you walk by an NPC too, you don't have to talk to him. You'll just overhear him talking to another NPC. Like I love that too, where it's like, it's not just actively talking to NPCs. There's also this passive mode as well.
Yeah.
Really cool. There's some really cool things going on in this game.
Yeah. I feel like, they just missed the mark just a little bit. Like I just would have liked that expanded. I would have liked the puzzle to have changed a little bit more over the levels. Maybe to have not just been exactly the same thing over and over and over again. Give me a different challenge. But overall, pretty good. I think Game Informer hit it pretty well at an 8.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of score I would give it other than just saying that I like it.
Yeah.
And didn't expect to like it and recommend it, at least to check out.
So thanks, Lord Matt.
Yeah.
For sending it our way.
Yeah, thanks for sending something that I immediately scoffed and then had to choke down the fact that I actually liked it. Tyler?
Yes, Dave.
I've had a lot of fun today, buddy.
Yeah.
I've got some important questions for you before we close this down. The first being, if you were to give this game a beard, what kind of beard would it be?
See, I would have to give this the soul patch of Eric von Markup,
Who is that?
also known as the pickup artist. He had a show on MTV.
I'm glad I didn't know who that was. AKA
I
Erica?
think he's called Mystery, is also what he's called.
God,
Yeah.
gross. Gross. Why? Just because women?
I don't know. It's spelled correctly.
Yeah.
So at least he has that going for
Yeah.
him.
Are you giving the game that beard because every now and then you just wake up and Catherine's there and she
Yeah.
says, "Oh, we totally fucked."
You accidentally seduce people, and you've got the whole you can play him more like the Lothario who's just like out to have a good time.
Okay. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would have to give this game the iconic sunglasses of one Lenny Kravitz.
Oh.
Because
Are you going to come my way?
I feel like Lenny Kravitz is sort of the human personification of this game.
Okay.
Because like
You sure you don't mean Lenny Bruce?
no, pretty Lenny Kravitz. His sense of style reminds me of the game. The way he dresses and his hair and his sunglasses and
That's just because of Midnight Venus.
he's a notorious bachelor. Like it's just Lenny.
Is he?
This is Lenny. I had to look up. I was like, famous bachelors with glasses. Lenny Kravitz, perfect.
You could have just put glasses on George Clooney.
He's married now. He's settled.
married now?
He got his True Catherine ending. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him.
So yeah.
Tie up all those loose knots with the transgendered waitresses. I got another question for you, Tyler. And that is, how much is this game on Amazon? How much do you think this game is on Amazon, Tyler? Here's a hint. It changed since we last looked.
$27.
Tyler, actual retail value of Catherine for the PlayStation 3 used on Amazon at the time of this recording is $11.89. 20 cents more than a new version of the game for some reason. I don't know how that worked out. Maybe something with shipping. I don't know. But it was higher when we looked last because I remember you and I trying to work out the logistics of us both playing a 15-hour game the same week and talking about it on the show. Turns out just one of us needs to stay up 36 hours in order to make that happen. But, whatever, no big deal. But I was thinking about buying the game. And I think at the time it was like $30 or something like that. And it was like, I am not going to buy this game, which it looks like I will hate for $30 for the show. So,
but for $11 for a piece of actual, like, not digital,
I would buy it.
Yeah,
I would.
It's worth it.
I would buy it.
That's all I got.
That's all I got, man. I talked about the DMX line. Yep. I talked about the butt monster. Mentioned masturbating on the floor in the bathroom several times.
Talked about getting my heart broken and made it kind of awkward and did that.
I talked about time travel.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
I think that's talking about Catherine. That's good.
We did it.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So don't miss the next episode. We will be revealing our next list.
Get ready for it.
Yeah.
You've been waiting. I know you've been waiting. It's been so long since we finished the IGN's 100 top Super Nintendo games.
We're still going to be doing the eventually list on Mondays, but we'll be starting a new list for Original Flavor Wednesday.
So get ready.
Yeah. We still like those 5-star iTunes reviews.
We love them.
It really helps us.
We haven't gotten one in a long time.
I know we haven't.
I feel like we have no new listeners and we're rapidly losing our current listeners. That's what that number's staying at. Static. That's what it says to me.
But if you want to help us out, help us promote the show, make it, because iTunes, however many people that subscribe, rate it, and review it. That's not the number of downloads you have, but from what I've heard, those are the 3 big factors for how much you get promoted on iTunes. So those help us out a lot because it's the biggest marketplace.
Yeah.
So, but for you helping us out,
we want to give you something.
We try to give you something.
We'll pretend to be a butt monster.
Dave and I will paint faces on our butts, take off our pants, and then we'll have a battle like that. where you, the listener, are Skyping us in and having to two TADPOG listeners, one for me,
grown men,
one for Dave, and because we can't see each other because we're facing each other's butts,
right?
So you have to yell at us
what direction
to go, where to like kick or use our butt jaws to try and take each other down.
Look, man, if you just want to slam butts together one night, you don't need an excuse.
Or if both people at the same time say ass to ass, it just has to happen.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this.
Won't they bullshit.
This Rachel Ross. Come on, man. If you want to slam butts together, just let me know, okay?
That's one comparison we haven't gone to. We've done like our Naruto, our Golden Girls, but which rom-com characters are you? Oh, we are Ross and Rachel. Oh, shit. Yeah, help us out. We'll put whatever game you want us to do in the review, or if you want to be whoever we're going to smash butts with, just throw it up there. Put it in your review. Just say smash butts and say who you want to do it. It's fine.
I think that might be my new Steam name. Smash butts. When will we get to that stuff, Tyler, do you think?
Eventually. Mr. Ventilation.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about stuff. You're going to find out what new list we're doing. That's a big fucking deal because that's going to set the landscape for TADPOG for the next, I don't know, year maybe? Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. Tune in and find out.
We might be doing the top 1,000 PlayStation games.
Yes.
And it'll just be the next 20 years.
We're committed. We're
doing the entire PlayStation 2 library.
Like Catherine with a K. We're just going to commit and see what happens. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. Man, I totally did not give Tyler my NSFW subreddits that I subscribe to. Cody and Visual Lips J have called me out on that, to which I said, I'll do it after work, and never did. So I'm sorry, guys, if you're listening, because if you check back right now, I guarantee you I still haven't done that. So, look, man, I got to stay up late and play video games. I mean, someone else can handle that NSFW subreddit shit, right? I mean, Cody, Jay, tell me what you think they are. Just send me the links and I'll put them up on the show notes. It's not a big deal.
Just try and find the subreddit and ask for a request into it.
Yeah.
If you can find it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You can also find us on Facebook. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there. They're doing a lot of cool shit. Tyler he normally makes an episode post, and if you have anything to say about Catherine or the things we've talked about in this episode, that's a really good place to comment. You can find us on Twitter. We are at @tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. You're welcome, Taryn. In the meantime, man, I'm just like stroking out. I don't know what's going on. In the meantime, tweet us, I guess. I don't know. Or, you know what I love? I love it when people retweet our posts. That's like the best thing. That makes me feel good. Someone else gave us money. Tyler.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Someone else gave us money. I'm going to mispronounce his name. So that's what I like to do to people who are generous enough to open up their wallets and give us hard
to go to
money.
work,
Yeah.
work for a wage, and then give us some of it.
Yeah, what I like to do to wonderful people like that is just completely mispronounce their name. We got a pledge from Matt Weidenheimer. I hope that's how you say your name. If it's not,
It's Mott.
Mott. Yes, sorry, Mott. Oh. Hey, if that's not how I pronounce your name, or
Ma. The two T's are silent.
or if it is, either way, feel free to call us. And this goes out to anybody. Anybody who wants to call us, you can do so at 270-883-2555. But Ma, you take precedence because you are one of the wonderful people to donate to us. So thank you very much.
I want to call him the Hammer instinctually.
The Hammer? Okay.
Matt the Hammer Weidenheimer.
Matt the Hammer.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. That's just my gut just went, call him the Hammer.
Taryn said that she was going to support us, but she hasn't yet. So I don't know what's up.
She asked me how much, and I was like, how much you want to give us? She's like, psh.
Okay.
I was like, well, fine. $1,000, Taryn. Please and thank you.
Taryn, just smash butts with us and we'll be even. Just draw a face on your butt and join in on our
Our three-way butt smash.
It'll be like a
That's her next time she flies into town.
yeah.
It's butt smashing time.
It'll be a really weird cockfight.
That'll get some people to throw in after we throw Taryn into our butt smashing.
Yeah, you're probably right. So, Taryn, consider yourself recruited for Butt Fight 2015.
Man, my garage is going to smell. Our theme song?
Tyler, it is Moves by Sycamore Drive, a link to which can be found in the show notes at tadpog.com. How would you like to close this one out? Like a sheep?
Yeah.
Like Jim Brewer's Goat Man?
Yeah, I do.
Or Goat Boy.
Where
sorry.
Lenny Kravitz is the living embodiment of Catherine, Jim Brewer is the living embodiment of the 90s. So yes, yes I do.
Jim Brewer and a Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat.
A Smash Mouth T-shirt.
Oh, boy.
That's the 90s.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe he's riding a skateboard too. And drinking Capri Sun.
So until next time, Tropical Capricorn.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Nailed it. Shit used to be funny. Like, that's what's really sad. It's like, this shit used to be funny. Damn. I could smell that Slurpee Gulch. Not a good situation.
You wear a pad all the time, girl? That Slurpee Gulch? You're emo, and I've just shaved my abs out of my hair.
I didn't like it as much in the glass. I don't know why. It felt less fizzy or something in the glass. I don't know.
I wonder if there's research out there for that. There's got to be.
Tony will know.
Yeah. Tony
will know.
That'll be the stinger then. So being Tony research.
You don't want to use Slurpee Gulch? That was comedy gold, Tyler. Slurpee Gulch, Tyler. Slurpee Gulch. Send Mikey to the Slurpee Gulch, Tyler. I just want to fuck with him because he specifically said that everyone will start in their own in-character thread. Stay there. Like, when he said that, the first thing I wanted to do was just like, as soon as like yours opens
I
up,
clicked on yours immediately.
just like wander in.
So.
Yeah.